welcome to the Always Betting Podcast. I am your co-host Pisky, and I am joined, as always, by the one and only Godfather. Fuck, you know what? Merry Christmas. We'll start there, but we didn't. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, you're good too. All right. Merry Christmas, everyone.
I did do that. You never fucking pay attention.
A proper Merry Christmas to everyone, since we rudely ended last podcast episode with that stupid prop that you brought to the table.
First of all, what prop? This?
Yeah, keep it away. Keep it away. You ruined it last time. You come back on.
How did I ruin it?
I don't know. You hit your sound or something like that. You come back on to the episode, everything's crackling and stuff. And did you watch last episode?
Yeah, I didn't notice anything.
You didn't notice how it abruptly stopped at the very end?
You're in control of that.
You pulled
the plug.
You don't understand the production pain that this causes me, okay? You come in here, you're flaring hammers everywhere, you're unplugging things. It doesn't matter. Pisky will fix it.
First of all,
Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Anyway, Bon Natale. We can discuss this offline.
Okay. Well, now that we got that out and explained the rude departure from last episode.
Bon Natale, everybody.
I want to do a quick sign of the cross. I would like you to join me, Godfather. Yes, because I don't know if you noticed, but I noticed the schedule in the sports world this Christmas. Now, this sign of the cross is the fact that we are both retirees now, and we don't have to abide by the scheduling that our friends over at the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation put together for us. Do you remember how painful it was for 13 years that I was there anyways? 13 years. How painful this time of year was.
Terrible. The worst time of the year.
Dude, Christmas Day with 2 NFL games, and how many basketball games were there?
5.
Only 5? I thought there were more.
No, I believe it was 5.
Okay. Could you imagine what our lives would have been inside the dungeon on Lesmill Road in Toronto? That's North York, in case anyone's confused. That's where the sports office was for the Toronto ugly stepchildren, because the main office was up in Sault Ste. Marie, and they didn't really care for us too much in Toronto. Am I wrong?
Well, why are you bringing this shit up? Come on, let's go.
I'm just saying.
It was a terrible time of year, okay? And I'm going to say shit, I don't want to. Yeah, nobody wants to work, but there's work to do. Does that sound fucking familiar?
I was talking to Britt's brother-in-law. He, I guess, had requested some time off in early December or something like that. No, even earlier.
Again, don't get me started. Just because you request doesn't mean you get it off.
That's what I mean. So he was all bent out of shape because his work gave him a hard time about it. He ended up getting it, but he's like, I've been there for 9 years. I'm like,
9 years. I wipe my ass with that. Get out of here. 35 in the dungeon. 35 different dungeons. Multiple dungeons.
How mad were you every Christmas?
Every single one. Terrible. Because there's work to do. Okay. Dude, and there's obligations to meet. And then everybody's like, what? Everybody's got a story. Everybody's entitled. What are you entitled to?
Well, you included. You thought you should have the month of December off.
But I did, because I'm but I didn't work my share. You're going to come on here and you're going to say that to me?
No, we got shit done. But I'm just saying, I'm at my parents' place now in Quebec.
Yes, and yes.
And it brings back a lot of memories.
Multiple times you did me a solid and say, B, I'll be there for you, but I got to do it from my parents' basement in Chateauguay. And I would take you up on that offer, and I would do this, and I would say, okay, the kid's there for me. Why do you think we're here today? Because if you would have been jerking me off back then, you think I'd, like, you know what I mean.
You gotta watch your words. You gotta watch your words. That was terrible.
That was terrible. I take it back. That's not what I meant. But you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we had a hard time. It was terrible. You should not have brought up this subject for this. This is supposed to be like a goodwill Christmas, Bon Natale, blah blah blah, and you bring up the worst part of our job ever. I would start sweating Christmas in fucking January.
You used to get so mad.
Yes,
especially when people. Because I was always on your good side. I was the inherited son, and I could pretty much do no
watch
wrong.
It. I never signed the paperwork. Watch it.
But there were other people that would put in for vacation around Christmas time, and you used to lose your shit. There were planned terrorism attacks on the country of Finland. I'm just going to put that out there. There's a lot of hidden meetings there, but holy shit, the Godfather used to take everything so personally. And
there's work. At the end of the day, when there's work to do, there's work to do. Okay,
dude, I remember, because you remember everything about the lottery corporation was checks after more checks after more checks. And I remember wrestling with this app that was like create PDF or something like that, where I had to create a scanned document and then take pictures of it and scan it and put it in folders and shit like that. Yeah. Nightmares. So, well, just to wrap it all together, is because, is that the first time we've had NFL games on Christmas?
On actual Christmas Day, I believe so. Like,
yeah. So,
listen,
seeing that,
the NBA did us no favors 10 years ago. When they went to, they started off for 2 days, and then they bumped it to 5.
But I'm saying, when I was sitting there watching these games in the background, first of all, I didn't even know there was games on Christmas. That's how checked out I am.
I couldn't believe that. I could not believe that post. That you. What? I couldn't believe that you didn't know there was 2 fucking games.
No, I had
NFL
no idea.
Games.
I had no idea. When I put it on and I realized, I'm like, oh my God, we are so fortunate to be out of that realm of what we were doing, because that would have been so. New Year or Christmas Eve this year would have been hell. Could you imagine the prop cards? Like what? We used to do basketball ones, so there'd be a couple basketball games for sure, and then 2 NFL ones.
Minimum.
Christmas Eve would have been insane.
Minimum. We would have had at least 5 prop cards.
Yeah,
4 at least. 4 minimum. Even me schmoozing the right people, we would not have gotten away with less than 4.
No, it would have been.
And like you said, there's checks and balances that need to happen. And, management's story was always, skeleton staff, but we have less to do. Okay, that worked for maybe a decade of this shit. But then with the leagues bumping up the temperature during this time of year, the skeleton staff didn't work no more.
No, it was.
And then you got the same freaking people saying they it's Christmas. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, you shouldn't have, why you gotta make me mental on it? Like I got my own problems, man. But no, that is, honest to God, 35 years, bye-bye. But there's lots I miss, but this part ain't one of them.
What do you miss?
Well, I miss some. I had good people. I had good people there.
Okay, some of the people, yeah. We had some friends at the Lottery Corp for sure,
without question. I was a man. I was a respected man. Say it online. I was a respected person. Just because you don't, whatever. I was a respected person. So
why? Because you gave out calendars every year. The calendar guy.
That was my gig, and you fucked it up one year. And let me tell you, I don't know why I have this forgiveness soft spot for you. I can't figure it out. Even my therapist can't tell me. Watch it. That's my gig.
That was the most frustrating part of working during Christmas time at the Lottery Corporation Pro Line. The second most frustrating part is you're reliving that right now.
There's more.
You were in the Jungle Bowl final, sir.
Yeah. What? It
How many Christmases did fantasy ruin for you?
Over many. Over 10, easily. So I won twice. I lost 3 times. Probably going to lose this week, but whatever. I mean, thank God someone imparted their wisdom on me, and I decided to take it. That being good at fantasy football does not reflect your knowledge of the game, does not reflect anything. And even if you win the top prize, you just put in man hours equivalent to maybe 20 cents an hour. So yes, I am in the final. I still try to compete because I'm a competitive person. We did White Elephant for Christmas. I made it very clear, even to an 11-year-old, that if you end up with a gift that I want, I'm coming for it.
Wait, where did this go? Hold on, you lost me. You went into, we're talking about fantasy football.
I'm a competitive person.
Oh, got it. Okay. And you had this white elephant. What is that? Like
white elephant where, yes, gift stealing. Okay. And if even an 11-year-old or even my mother, if I need it or I want it, I'm going to play within the rules. I'm in it to win.
Whatever. Okay. So, congratulations on getting to the Jungle Bowl final. That is the name
I'm going to try to represent
Football League.
I'm going to try to represent.
You ran into Numi, I believe. That's Buffalo Bills Numi that's been on this podcast a few times. Buffalo versus Pittsburgh. Why do you keep cutting me off? What's going on here? I've noticed a trend in the last few episodes that every time I start talking, all of a sudden you just barge your way in. Why are you doing that? What is this? Is this something in your genes or what? Is this an Italian thing? It is an Italian thing.
100%.
Well, I'm sick of it. Jesus.
I'm sorry. Okay,
I'm here in Montreal. You know how much I get of that from my dad here in Montreal with his Greek heritage?
There's no dad bashing on this show, bro.
Unbelievable, you guys.
Sometimes we have things to say and we can't wait for you to make your point. Take too long. Jesu Cristo. Make me swear.
Buffalo Bills versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going down. It's a Jungle Bowl final. Numi, shout out to Numi because he hasn't lost a fantasy matchup since week 5. He started 0-5 and has won every game since.
So you do pay attention, or you went looking for stuff?
Well, only because there's a guy.
How are you doing?
I'm out. We already talked about that.
Okay.
There's a guy in the B League. Shout out to Mr. McIntyre.
Yeah, I saw you kept on pumping his gears.
Undefeated. We've never had that before. Coast to coast.
That's a very touchy topic, and
there's only one time that's happened before, and that was in fantasy baseball.
Twice.
Coast to coast. Ask your brother. He congratulated me one year at Christmas. Like, piss. Coast to coast.
I've never forgiven him for that. There's certain things you do not do. That was.
Could you imagine, like everyone watching this? Could you imagine being in a fantasy league where you allow football's shorter? Okay, there's only been 14, 15 weeks. You could get on a heater and pull it off. It's never happened in our leagues, but it looks like it's going to happen this year. But imagine doing it in fantasy baseball. All summer long. You're just sitting back, mojito, winning matchups, and you go coast to coast in fantasy baseball. That happened under someone's watch. Not naming any names. People get a little offended. And they say, will you stop? There's people listening to this, and you're giving the drummer boy over here.
I can't use my hammer. I can't use my... Okay. All right.
Okay. So, anyways, good luck in the Jungle Bowl final. I am bringing
Well,
the Jungle Bowl.
if you actually mean it, if you actually mean it, okay. I hope I win. I need the money.
Oh, it's about the money now.
Yeah. Well, what do I get other
Not
than
that
the
trophy
money?
that I have to lug all the way back to the province of Ontario?
Oh, the trophy I love, and I will go all over Vaughan with that trophy. All over.
Well, it's coming back because obviously both of you are Ontarians, so we got to bring it back.
Yeah.
Making its way west of the Quebec border.
Yeah, the Quebecers have had their run with it, so now it's going to be an Ontario title holder.
It is. And my parents are very thankful because it's been sitting in their basement for a significant amount of time, so they're happy that it's moving on.
You never did it?
No, I get it. It's available for pickup, but delivery not included, G. Come on. There's only so much I can do. Running 3 fantasy teams, fantasy leagues, you know what kind of pain that is?
Well, that was your fucking idea.
I know.
If I have the floor, when you were into it, you see, you need to be good at it for you to be into it. When you get bounced around a bit, you lose.
Change of priorities. I had this conversation.
And that's fair. And you're right. I am admitting you were right all along.
It is. Because if you take that amount of time and you put it into something like, I don't know, educating yourself on decentralized finance, right? You take your Ethereum or you take your coins and you learn how to stake them and make money off of them. Is that not worth more than scouring Roto World? I don't even know if that's a site anymore. That's what we used to do, like refresh.
Yeah, no,
all day long. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
It still is.
Yeah, it still is. You still use it?
Well, listen, we've grown. We've grown as people. Well, at least you have. I don't know about me.
Okay, last thing before you know what? Like, these picks things. This is a complete disaster.
It was a complete disaster.
Yeah, it was a failed project again. That's back to back seasons. So yeah, we'll get to those in a sec. But honestly, it does not matter which way we go anymore. So maybe I just let you try to score the 5-0 and we go from there. What about the Steelers playing on Wednesday, Christmas Day? Were you happy about that?
Of course not.
A little short, no?
I saw the schedule back in May when it came out, and I put 3 X's on 3 games in 11 days. I put them in May. That's why I'm not here yelling and screaming. No, we are not going to beat the Eagles, Ravens, and Chiefs on Christmas Day, 3 games in 11 days. We're not going to do it. And the
doesn't seem fair. Doesn't seem fair.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that because the Chiefs went 3-0 in 11 days, and the Steelers went 0-3. That's all you need to know. Not the same. Not the same caliber.
Okay, for someone that doesn't follow football, okay, it's no secret that Pisky is a casual fan at best. Does it make sense to finish your game on Sunday? Because the Steelers played on Sunday, did they not? The Ravens?
Saturday.
They played on Saturday.
They played Saturday. Wow, they gave them an extra. Yeah, wonderful. It's still 3 games in 11 days. It's the NFL. The NFL talks about player safety, this and that. What do you think? Get the fuck out of here.
No, you're right. Because, okay, maybe they gave them that extra day with the Saturday and whatnot, but there's still, routines to be followed. So if you're out of routine, right, we're used to playing on Sundays, but now you hit them with a Saturday game and a Wednesday game? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The Wednesday game.
I hate taking your side, but I found that a little fair, especially when I turned on the TV and I'm like, oh, and they have the Chiefs of all teams?
Yeah. That's the way it goes. It's the way it goes, and it's hard to recuperate from that. But you know what? At the end of the day, the other 4 teams that played were in the same boat. So, I mean, again, a tough section of the schedule, and they weren't able they weren't able to do it. End of story.
Who do you guys got left?
Cincy.
Cincy and who's week 18?
No, that will be week 18.
Oh, yeah, because they just played. Oh my God, yeah.
So we get 11 days off or 10 days off for the last game, which, I mean, it's brutality. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's another late season. I don't want to say collapse, because this year there's a lot of factors going on, and at the end of the day, it's a depth question in the NFL. And if you don't have great depth and the league bends you over with 3 important games.
Yeah.
3 games in 11 days don't mean nothing when you're the fucking New England Patriots or Carolina, but nobody wants to see those teams. The Steelers still command respect with a fan base second to no one. Okay? And so that's why they're a very public team. But, again, it didn't work out, and that's okay. One and done in the playoffs. Maybe they give me a New Year's present, win a fucking playoff game, just so I can yell in my house, and everybody still thinks I'm sane.
Who are they lining up to play?
I think it's kind of it's a little murky, but it won't matter. They probably will lose. You hear me? I'm very straightforward.
I don't like that attitude.
Well,
who is this? You're going in you're going into the playoffs, and you're like, we're gonna just lose. What is this?
How many times in the past people would call me a certain name, and I would say I'm not. I'm a realist through and through. Okay? A realist. Look it up. Let's go. Come on. I think the people. Did you have a good Christmas, by the way? Sorry.
That was my next question.
I was interrupting you and, being an asshole or whatever. You have a good Christmas?
Yeah, Christmas was good. Went to Britt's place, and big family affair up there. And then Boxing Day, we hit the road to Montreal and got here late last night. And about gonna move into the city for the next few days. Spend some time with Snarrow, who's in town, and we got. You know what we have planned tonight? Have you ever done something like this? Tasting menu.
I have.
You have done that? What do you think?
Yes.
Of tasting menus.
It's spectacular if you go to the right one, and it's which I'm sure if Mr. Smith is involved, it's top drawer. I have done it. I did it at Jackson Triggs Winery in Niagara.
Oh, nice.
We did Chef's Table.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you now, if you perhaps may have people at the table, the little light in the alcohol department, it's not going to go good for them, because you are getting 12 different small courses with 12 different wine pairings. And when people need help to go to the bathroom after 5, 6, and Jesus Cristo, there's another 6 to go.
Yeah,
it's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. Well, there's a lot of first timers, and that's what I'm excited about. My parents have never done this before. Nanny's coming with us. She's never done it before.
Mo's coming?
Yeah, she's here. She's going to be coming too.
Cool.
So, yeah, I am fired up for it. I've done it before. Snarrow came to visit me when I lived in Vegas a couple Christmases ago.
Oh, yeah, you did Jose Andrea's thing.
Yes.
See?
So we went there, little pre-gummy before you go, and then you have these guys telling you what vineyard this is from in Napoli Valley and out of Tuscany.
Napoli Valley. Oh, Jesus Cristo. Nice. Anyway.
Yeah, it's hilarious, and I really enjoyed my experience when we went to it in Vegas. And I you know what, I kind of put it together and made sense of it, because you got to go in with the right mentality, right? you can't go in there thinking like, oh, this is like we need a big steak with a big baked potato, and there's going to be all kinds of different sides to taste. It's not like that at all. I
No,
think
it's not like that.
No, you got to go in with the right mentality that this is an experience. And I remember when we went in Vegas, I said to myself, I said, you know what? This is going to sound absolutely bonkers to anyone that has known me for a long time, but I actually prefer now these days doing something like this than going down to Allegiant Stadium and watching the Raiders play. And a lot of people would say, what? Why would you ever do such a thing? Well, I've been to a lot of football games. I've been to a lot of sporting events. I've never been to a tasting menu, all stony baloney with one of my buddies. It's hilarious. It's an incredible experience. So that's my take from it. And that's how I've kind of sold it to my dad because, he is the big steak and potatoes guy. I'm like, no, you can't think of it like that. There's a time and a place for a steak and potatoes, but this is different. And you got to go in there thinking that this is an experience. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I talking shit?
No, you're absolutely right. As far as your parents are concerned, well, at least you're not bringing them to a place where your poor father has to eat in the dark. You think I forgot about that? Terrible son. Why would you do that to people of our generation?
That has come up a lot in the last 72 hours. Just to give you guys a quick
100%. He asked you if there was any of that bullshit going on for this tasting because GSP would say, I'm out.
Would you act similarly to the way he acted when we went to that restaurant?
To the dark thing?
Yeah.
1,000%. What kind of, we're humans. What's going on here?
So what he's talking about, folks, is one year I gifted my parents this experience because it was an experience. And it's a restaurant. I think they have one in Toronto as well, but it's a restaurant here in Montreal called, I don't even know if it's still around, but it was called Au Noir. And basically the concept is you go and you sit and you have dinner in the dark. And it's to, I don't know, it's to test your taste buds and everything else because you can't use, obviously, your sense of sight. So you have to, so it's different. It's supposed to bring out different flavors from the food. Well, my dad, my poor father, had a panic attack in this place. He's like, I can't do this. So he had to get up from the table. And here's the thing about Au Noir is I believe all the staff were blind. Right? So
you couldn't pay me money to go to this.
It's a level playing field. And my poor father had to be escorted out of the place. But at the same token, this waiter had to drop off plates of food to other tables. So my dad was like getting a tour of, and it's like you could not see your hand in front of your face. That's how dark it was. It wasn't just like, oh, we're eating in dim lighting. No, this was pitch black. And yeah, my old man had a panic attack. And I had to go eat at the Belle Province some hot dogs down the street. So this one has the lights.
I'll have a steamy after that bullshit.
Yeah, that's actually what happened. So this one's going to be different. But yes, I'm looking forward to it. And spending a couple days downtown Montreal will always be fun. And yeah.
Do you know what type of cuisine is tonight?
The restaurant is called Tok. TOQUE, I believe. So I'm not sure. I am going in kind of blindfolded, but not really blindfolded. There's no blindfolds. The lights will be on. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see my parents.
I hope you have a good time, and please give my best.
How was your Christmas?
Well, I mean, we had a health crisis emergency before Christmas. We were very happy to have my mom with us and out of the hospital for Christmas, but she was not, she was not 100%.
She looked good in the pictures.
She put on a brave face. We took some pictures. She ran out of gas around, I want to say, 7:38ish. So right after dinner, she had enough. She's just tired, right? She doesn't have her
probably tired of hearing you whine about the Steelers.
You know something? The only good thing was that the Steelers were at 1. So by the time we went down to Etobicoke, I already knew they were going to, there was
So it
no
was
hope.
kind of out of your system? Yeah.
Out of my system. All the yelling already had happened at home as people were trying to put on Christmas carols, and I kept on turning them off. So I didn't even look or ask for, some people do Christmas, and my sister, God bless her, she put a lot of work into it, like she always does.
Nice.
And the Steelers, they didn't ruin they ruined my prep towards Christmas with my family, but they didn't ruin anything. We had a nice evening. Again, it's not easy. It's not easy when the only surviving parent out of both myself and my wife's side is not doing well. So, we're struggling to get her the help at home, and more tests being run, and changing up a lot of stuff that, while we're a lot younger and healthy, we take for granted. So 100%. A little bit of a different Christmas, but plus Victoria wasn't here. My daughter's still in Amsterdam. Well, she's not in Amsterdam. She actually ended up in Austria, did Vienna, now is in Prague.
Okay.
Did Christmas there because she's by herself, and she went with a friend that she met at this Amsterdam law school that she's been at this semester, and I believe is going to end up in Germany for a couple of days, and then going to do New Year's in Amsterdam. Anyway, she comes back home like the 12th of January or something. So we're looking forward to
good. Those are good experiences, though, G. I know you and Nad were a little bent out of shape not having her there for the first Christmas in her life. But like I told you, traveling grows you hardcore as a person. So I have no doubt that Victoria made the best of it, and this is all going to pay off in massive dividends going forward.
We had a half an hour session, with espresso, with panettone, with all the stuff you have after a nice Christmas Italian meal. And of the number of countries she's visited since August, since she went to Amsterdam, and we're at 21 countries.
Stop.
21, G. She's been everywhere.
And how many have you been to?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, Italy in 1974, spent the summer on the farm with my grandfather shooting various animals and shooting. Anyway, and Amsterdam in November. I've never been to Europe.
But that's what I mean, though. Like, isn't that amazing?
It's amazing in that, honestly, I'm really happy I went to Amsterdam. Yeah. Because, as you know, and as you heard me yelling, screaming, swearing, etc., I was a nervous wreck with my daughter being in Europe with all the fucking bullshit that goes on in 2024. Okay?
Again,
by herself.
That's everywhere.
No, it's worse over there. It's worse over there. You are not geopolitically advanced like me. It's worse over there.
I disagree. Every time I open my TikTok app, there's another clan of people breaking into jewelry stores in the GTA.
Okay. But that's because we live in a soft Justin Trudeau based society. No, that's why.
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Anyway, when I went to Amsterdam, and when I observed with my own two eyes how my daughter comports herself and the level of skill and efficiency at which she was navigating Amsterdam, and I was like, okay, I don't need to do flight aware. I was at the point where I wanted a flight itinerary, and I would watch the plane go from Amsterdam to Barcelona, to Nice, and I would watch the plane, and then there'd be another plane, and I'd be, hey, this fucking mofo getting too close to my fucking daughter's plane. What's going on? Like, it was great. Like, it was that kind of thing. She would give me, I had many arguments because I was like, stay at a hotel. I want you in your own room. That's expensive, Dad. I'm a hostel. I watched a movie called Hostel, and that was not something that I wanted to hear.
Frugality, gee. This is good. This is the stuff you have to learn. Otherwise, your future is going to be brutal.
For the first 3-4 countries, I implored her to share her location with me. So I would see the big V show up on Google Maps, and I'm like, okay, all right. She went shopping. Okay, she's at the supermarket. Okay. Why the fuck is she outside of this place? And then I'd start to, you know what I mean? Like, could I actually do something? I'd have to make a few calls. I'd have to get on a quick plane, but whatever. No. But yeah, I don't do that anymore because she proved herself to me back in November that she has grown as a person, and I'm very proud of that. And you told me that would happen.
I hate to say that I told you so. Okay.
I'm going to give you the props before you start doing this. And I told you so, Godfather. I told you so. Yes, you were right yet again.
I have an idea of I don't want to say I know how it works, because that's just pretending that you know everything, and that's not true. But after doing it myself, when I came back from Switzerland for the first time, I was a changed person, man. I had matured head over heels.
Well, and did it stick with you?
Doing the traveling stays. Well, I think so, for the most part. I got the travel bug. You know me. I like going everywhere. I like doing
summer
everything.
Of Pisky. Who do I know you?
Yeah, but it's great, man, because honestly, your problems can seem so much more enlarged when you see them like out of the lens of just your own little bubble. And once you get outside that bubble, well, first of all, you realize how insignificant you are as a human being in the total grand scheme of the world. And you learn to not sweat the small things, man, like staying in a hostel. The next time Victoria goes and stays in a hotel, she's going to appreciate that. Because she stayed in places like hostels that have people snoring all night long and stuff like that. And you need to appreciate when you have luxuries in life. So
we're looking forward to getting her back. Let's just say that. And I hope her growth continues.
For sure. Okay, let's let the people go. We've been blabbing for 37 minutes. I don't know. What do you want to do with these picks? I have stats here for Q4. We're 8-7. The leader's 13-2, so that's a pipe dream. And for the worst record in the entire pool, the leader is at 22-55-1. So that's 22.5 points. And you want a low score, obviously. And we are at 33-47.
We're in no man's land, and it's just the way it went. But I mean, I have a couple of picks if you want to hear them.
Let's do it. Sure.
The Rams. I'll take the Rams -6.5.
Rams -6.5. Okay, sure.
It's a Saturday game, and don't try to play no games because Scott, Las Vegas horse person, horse player. What's his fucking name? Okay, Scott said it was cool, and he even posted something. I'm pretty sure for your benefit. So Scott 6.5.
It's cool. Rams -6.5. Okay, I will stick with my trying to lose. It looks like Jalen Hurts is not going to go. That's what I read, and that's what I see in the line. So I'm going to take Philly -9.5.
Fuck, I had the Cowboys +9.5.
Of course, you're trying to use my method of madness, which I don't know. You remember last year I kept talking about like how to beat your pick'em pools when they have static lines. You just compare it to the Pinnacle or the bookmaker line. And whatever has the biggest discrepancy, that's your most confident picks. Yeah, well, I did that this year, and she no worky. So I thought I had cracked the code.
There's no cracking Stugatz.
Dude, it was 3 years. I was in the top 10 of that pool. This year, I'm like below halfway point. So
you know what?
I don't know.
Lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got the Eagles. Okay. I'm going to take the Jags. Pick them.
The Jags. Pick them.
I think it's -1 now.
Okay, sure. Jacksonville. PK.
Go ahead.
Okay, I need another one that's moved.
A loser?
Let's go with the Bills -11. Okay, so here's something we can cheer in. Again, shout out to your opponent this week in the Jungle Bowl final. Numi hit me up before the season had started. Remember when they said the Buffalo Bills had terrible wide receivers and Josh Allen wouldn't be able to throw the ball?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Numi hit me up and said, hey, that Josh Allen number, which was 3,750. That was the amount of yardage that he had to throw. And in the last 3 years, he's gone over 4K every year. But because this year there was so much like, who the hell is he going to throw the ball to?
Yeah.
They chopped
overreaction.
Exactly.
Overreaction to Stephon Diggs leaving. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I believe he's sitting right now at 3,550. I'm scared that he's not going to play Week 18 because I don't know if it'll mean anything for the Bills, especially with Kansas City clinching.
It won't, because I think the Bills are locked in to number 2 due to my Steelers sucking ass.
Yes, so it's your fault. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So now he's got to get 200 yards in the next 2 weeks, which, again, Week 18, I don't know what his availability is.
No, he's going to do it this week.
I hope so. Because that deserves
you got a little piece of the action? You got a little piece?
I put a good chunk on. I told Numi we're going out for a steak if it happens. Thank you for sharing the info.
Oh, so this little chunk comes out in week 17?
I don't know.
Did you share it with your associates?
You want a piece now that we're in week 17?
No, I don't want a piece now. That's like inviting me to the party when you need you need numbers. You don't do that to an Italian. You either invite me to the party proper.
Well, I've been writing this out, so that's what I'm cheering for in the next 2 weeks, and I hope it happens.
So we're taking the Bills -11 in this.
We're taking the Bills -11 because the current price is -10. So yeah, I'm laying a shit number because I want to stay true to what I've been doing for the last X amount of weeks. And you know what, dude? I went digging through TikTok to see what we did compared to the bingo machine. I stopped posting my record. And I remember being equally as frustrated last year, at this time of year, because, it was like for the last 4 weeks, there was no man's land. So what do you do, right? Anyways, so I don't know where we stack up against the bingo machine, but obviously this has been a painful experience.
Yes, it has been.
Okay,
what do you want
quick,
left?
We got to let these people go.
Well, if you want me to take something.
Oh, I guess I won last week, right?
You won last week, so go ahead.
Okay. So, quickly looking at spank odds, I am looking for the number that makes the least amount of sense. And I believe that, here we go. Godfather's going to have to shut off the episode again. Something's going to come up.
I'm not. I fell. My pen fell. Jesus Christ.
Let's go with another Saturday game, and I will take the Broncos +3.
Well, you won last week, so
you
won last week, and this pitting against each other, that was a you thing, and it exploded in our faces. Made it very unenjoyable for the 6 people that listen, and super annoying to your partner. And even though you don't give a shit about that, terrible. Okay.
We're done. You want to read back for the people? Oh, here we go. Don't slam it this time.
I won't slam it. Okay. I just wanted to get a rise out of it. We got Broncos +3. Makes no sense. We've got Rams -6.5. That's a winner. Don't fade that one. We got Jags. Pick 'em. That's a winner. Don't fade that one. We got the Bills -11. Fade at your own risk. And then we've got the Eagles minus 9.5. That's a system play because he knows it's going to lose. The Cowboys will cover. The Godfather had 9.5, and he purposely does stuff to anger me. But we got Eagles minus 9.5. We're not going to do another podcast before the new year, right?
No. One more, and then we figure out what the hell we do from there.
Then lose my number. Then that's what we figure out. Buon anno nuovo. Happy New Year. Maybe make 2025 be better than this bullshit 2024. What can I tell you?
I think that's a good way to go out. Absolutely. Happy New Year, everyone. And once we get through next week's, then we got to figure out what happens.
We'll do a Super Bowl podcast for sure. I think we can.
We need some guests. I think we got to go the guest route. And I really wanted to do it throughout the season, but obviously with everything that we have going on between the betting and the other content and everything goddamn else that's been going on, it's been really difficult to try to double up the amount of episodes. It's tough enough to get in front of the mics. Yeah, tough enough to get in front of the mics once a week, let alone multiple times. So that was a miscalculation on my part. And again, once we get through the season, then we'll figure out where we go from there. But yes.
Is everybody else on gambling Twitter that you keep in touch with? Everybody good? Everybody have a good Christmas?
I don't know. I haven't really spent much time on Twitter. No, it's not my. I've accepted now. It is not my platform of choice. I will be putting more effort into TikTok in the new year. Hopefully, it doesn't get banned up here in Canada, and we'll go from there. We'll go from there. The journey continues. I mean,
the journey continues.
So all right, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us, and we'll catch y'all next week. Ciao.
Ciao.